Welcome everyone to this week's Global Intelligence Update. And as always, we've got some great guests with us. And this week, turning around is Andrea Anderson. And let me just give you guys a quick introduction on who is Andrea. If you haven't heard about her yet, you haven't been on the channel. So that means watch the previous videos and catch up. So Andrea Anderson is a seasoned entrepreneur and business consultant with over 20 years of experience across various industries, including telecommunications, education, manufacturing, and technology. She is known for her ability to transform businesses from good to great by combining data intelligence with intuitive decision making. Andrea helps organizations streamline operations, boost productivity, and make informed decisions that drive success. Her expertise include launching new products, entering new markets, and optimizing business structures for acquisition or sale. With a focus on sourcing the right information, Andrea's collaborative approach ensures businesses confidently achieve their goals while avoiding costly mistakes. Andrea, thanks for joining us. We're really looking forward to today's session. So the virtual floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Chris and Mike and Landy, for allowing me this privilege and opportunity to be here today. I have to admit, I hear people like describe me and introduce me, and I go, is that really me? It's like, ooh, but that's just a little bit of the imposter thing we've got to get over. To everybody on the call, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your valuable day today to share space with me. I'm super excited. For those of you who have not had the privilege to meet, yes, the name is Andrea Anderson. I'm originally from New Zealand, so you still might hear a bit of an accent, but I'm also a proud Australian citizen based out of Brisbane, Queensland. So if you're ever coming down under and you find yourself in Queensland, hook us up. It'd be great to sit down and to break bread, drink great wine, and talk about lots of fun, exciting things. So today, what I'm going to do with you folks is I'm going to take you through the process of how market savvy are you. This is an interactive workshop and presentation, so I am going to be looking for you to engage with me here, so please do have your cell phones ready at the helm to actually do the QR code. But to give you a little bit of an introduction about me, yes, as Chris mentioned, I'm a serial entrepreneur. What that basically means is I've made money, I've lost money, I've made money, I've lost money. Claire's shaking her head vividly with me here. I've made money, and now the aim of the game is not to lose as much as I've made. I'm really fortunate to have an incredible team here in Australia, as well as in New Zealand and now into the Philippines. But the two most important faces on this particular screen here is Head of Security and Chief Cuddles Officer. That's Ruben Rockstar. He's based here in Brisbane. And then, of course, Miss Ruby Lee there. She is our Chief Wellness Officer, and she's based in our Auckland office. So really fortunate to have this wealth of expertise and knowledge surrounded by me. And if anything, one of the lessons I've learned over the years has been my successes have come from being shared and from having an incredible team around me who know more than I do, versus the times when I haven't made as much money or if I've lost money. I've kind of had the impression that I think I can do it all myself. And the reality is you can't. So I always encourage everyone that entrepreneurship can be a very lonely and solo journey if you choose for it to be. There are other options here for you, and that is to find an amazing team. So here we go, guys. Let's get into it from Marketing 101 Fun Time. If you can please pick up your phone and let's go into that QR code there. There's also another one there for you as well. What it should do is it should open up and it should bring you into something like this. And what it will ask from you, please, is for you to put your name, please, PC if possible. Choose an avatar, no QR code on the phone. Oh, Mark! No, Mark! No! What's wrong with your phone? Can you do a photo? and it won't let you do the photo on you. I can send the link in the chat. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Jeff. I've been told I can send the link in the chat. So let's send the link in the chat. There it is. There we go, Mark. I've just put the link in the chat for you as well because we want you to participate. Excellent. Are you two joining us as well? Come on, get in here. Excellent. No, I don't want you to win. Excellent. Are we in? Where are you, Mark? Are you coming in for us, brother? We can't do this without you. Seb's in. Excellent. Mark's in. Oh, watch the skull crusher. Okay, folks, so here's how this is going to play. Every question's going to come up. You're going to be able to answer that question on your phone or on the computer. Now, how you win is it's the fastest person that answers the question as long as the question is right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the answers. Are we ready? Thumbs up. Are we ready? Ready to rock and roll? Let's go. Question number 1. What should you do first in marketing of your business? Okay. What should you do first when marketing your business? Okay, please tell me we got answers. Yes, we got answers. All right. Analyze the marketplace to ensure I can succeed. Ooh, here we go. So let's have a look at what that actually means. The biggest challenge and the reason why most businesses fail in when it comes to marketing, and in particular for business, is that they don't do the market research. What does that mean? There are 4 core things we need to be aware of. Market feasibility, and that is with the business you're looking to bring into the market, is there actually a marketplace for you? Is that marketplace a short-term, medium-term, long-term? Have you entered into the market at a point where it could be in a sunset to a decline, which therefore requires you to be innovative in the way that you bring your business to market? So market feasibility. Number 2, the second thing we've got to look at, and that is business viability. Folks, the reason why we're in business is because we're unemployable. I'll just let that sit for a moment, okay? Means that we're not really employed. Nobody wants to employ us and we don't really want to be employed. So the reality with being in business is that we've got to make sure that what you're about to embark on is viable, which then follows number 3. Number 3 is bottom line profitability. This is not a hobby. This is not a side hustle. Business is something that you have to invest in and hopefully get a return on that investment. All of that decision making is based on you. And then the 4th core component when doing your market research, and that is understanding whether your business will be has ethical sustainability. This has a lot to do with how you operate your business, not only from a core values perspective, principles or philosophy, but also how you physically do your business as well. Market research gives us the data and the information to ensure that the pathway we're creating for ourselves, we can navigate safely. Okay, so market research should always be the first thing. Okay, should we see who's winning this baby? Let's go. Loading results. Go you, Jeffrey. Boom, boom. Leading at the helm. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. Question number 2. Oh, let me go back. Oh, sorry. Question number 2. Start. Okay. What should be your average investment in marketing? Here we go. You have no idea. You don't do marketing. Between 7 to 15%, as cheap as possible, you do it yourself. Yes, absolutely. Between 7 to 15% of your projected turnover. So let's talk about that. So your marketing expenditure can include a number of these different items. However, what I'm going to encourage you to consider is that marketing is actually made up of 2 main areas. Number one, setup costs or your one-off costs. These are things like, for example, your market research, getting your marketing plan, getting your business plan, getting your brand done. This is also the setup of your website, the setup of your infrastructure from a communications perspective, looking at setting up things like if you use a booking system at all, making sure you've got your CRM system connected, so on and so forth. That's a one-off cost. Then the second component you've got is ongoing costs. So this will be things like your hosting, your security features for your website. You could have a social media content creator. You should be also looking at things like you might have advertising that you want to do, SEO, Google Ads. So when you're looking at that 7 to 15%, and great question, Jeffrey, TO means your turnover. And how we usually talk this through with our clients is we go, what are you wanting to achieve from your business from a revenue or turnover perspective? So let's say, for example, for you, Jeffrey, you want to achieve, I don't know, $1 million out of your turnover, then theoretically you should be looking at anywhere between $70,000 to $150,000 to invest. That's your budget. Now, as I say to people, it's a budget, folks. Doesn't mean you've got to spend it all. Okay, and in some cases, if you know that the maximum is going to be 150K, what we then endeavour to look for is strategies that don't have you going up into the upper echelon of that budget. Okay, but if you're looking to want to make $1 million turnover, but you're not prepared to invest in that, or you're only prepared to invest $10,000 on it, you're going to struggle to maximize the return on that investment. So we always say, do the budget for 7 to 15%. Doesn't mean you've got to spend it, but at least you know that that's what may be required from you. Okay? Shall we see who's winning this game? Here we go. Oh, go Jeff, he's still in the lead. Two in a row. Well done, you. Okay, question number 3. What's the biggest risk of running marketing without clearly defined strategy specific to your business? Here we go. Bing, bing. All of the above. Well done for those of you who answered that question. So let's look a little bit more into why that is. Every single one of you have a unique business. Now, you're going to have a lot of competition because we've all got competition. Every single one of us have got competitors, whether they're direct or indirect. Here's what we also have: limited funds, limited time, right? Limited skill sets around marketing. And the fifth one we've got is some of us actually are just really scared to do sales. Okay, so the key here for us is understanding what your MOU is, your market of own uniqueness. Not your USP, but your market of own uniqueness. What is the unique element about you versus some of your competitors? You see, how we operate our businesses is so completely different. So you need to have a marketing game plan that not only fits your budget, your capability, and your capacity, but also it's got to actually meet your level of confidence as well. For some people, the thought of doing cold calling absolutely sends them into a spasm and they go into a coma or they run into a corner, never to be seen again. For someone like me and my kind of personality, I'm like, bring it on, let's give that a go, right? So it's understanding what are your attributes. What have you got that we can leverage as part of your marketability in the marketplace you're looking at? And as Deloitte says there, is that research shows companies that align strategy and marketing are 3 times more likely to achieve their high performance. So your business is unique to you. So ensure you have the right strategy for you. And remember, one fit all is not always best. Okay. If you've got any questions at this point, feel free, pop them in the chat. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear your feedback and also to answer the questions as we go. Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready? You got this. You got this. He's smashing it. Okay. Question number 4. Does offline marketing strategies actually work? Ding, 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 ding. 2, 1. What do we got? It sure can. Absolutely. Look, let's get real. Before the invention of the internet, social media, and these things called influencers, there was a time when businesses used things such as sandwich boards. Do you guys remember the old sandwich boards you put outside your door? Radio, newspapers, and business networks. You see, what's really fascinating is that the assumption is we live in a digital space and therefore everything has to be digital. However, for many of us, our businesses actually live, our clients, I should say, actually live within a 20 to 25 kilometre from our home, right? Some of us, yes, I've got international businesses. I've got businesses up in the Philippines, China. I've got businesses all around Australia. But can I be honest? The ones that I love the most are those that are actually within a 10-kilometre radius from where I live. Why? Then I don't have to travel as far. So the key here for you is when you're looking at your own marketing, just be a little bit cautious and aware of where you're showing up when you go into a digital landscape. You've got to remember that, yes, you're going to show up like everybody else, but you've just increased your competition level from not only being in that 10 to 15 kilometre radius from you, but now actually being in the world. Okay, so you've got to be aware of how you use these vehicles called digital. In some cases, they're not always your primary lead generator, but they're there as a secondary or as a support to other lead generating strategies you may have on board. And it's really interesting because we're seeing major shifts and changes as to how people are navigating and utilizing social media as part of their strategy. What we're finding is many of them are actually moving away from using it as an advertising medium and are now just using it as a way of either UGC, so user-generated content, or more importantly, employee generated content. So using it in other ways that it was actually designed to be for, and that was from a social perspective. So if your business is 100% reliant on digital vehicles, your business is constantly at risk of changes and impact beyond your control. If that's your only reliance, I'm going to encourage you to consider looking at other offline opportunities, not necessarily radio, not necessarily a sandwich board, but there are other opportunities and strategies for you to consider. One of those actually is exactly what we're doing here. We're all part of a business network. And in fact, this is a really unique network group we belong to, FYI. The reason why it's so unique is, number one, unlike BNI, and I don't know if anyone here knows BNI, I'm a part of BNI here in Australia. We've just recently sponsored, we're the principal sponsors for BNI National Conference Australia. They've got a goal, and that is referrals, referrals, referrals. However, in this group, if you have a look even at the small group of individuals on this call, we're from South Africa, we're from the UK, we're from Scotland, we're from Australia, we're from Germany. So we are all over the world. So this should be a network we should be connecting in with on a much closer and more relational basis. So once again, what you're doing out there in the digital space, creating noise, really what we want to be doing is maintaining and establishing relationships, and this is where this kind of network allows us to do that. Okay, ready for the next one? Should we see what's happening here? Who's winning? Boom! Go you, Jeff. Look at him, he's rocking it. You sure you don't know these answers? I wonder. Okay, 5th question. Here we go. So, how often should I review my marketing strategy? Do, 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 do. Answer the question as you go. 2, 1, boom, boom. Yes, monthly with my marketing team and experts. So let's talk about that. Your business changes every day. Now, if your business is anything like me, part of my day is spent being reactive. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that if I get a phone call or an email, somebody gets in contact with me and it's, "Hi, Andrea, we met 3 months ago, usually at a pub having a couple of glasses of wine." You didn't hear me say that out loud. And what it is like, we're ready. We're ready to talk to you now. Well, of course, what I do, of course we are. Let's book a time and let's meet. I get off the phone and I celebrate. So that's what I mean by we are constantly having to be reactive as well as be prepared. So the aim of the game is to have a team of experts that are scaffolding you and working with you. They're not helping you, they're supporting you to achieve your goals and aspirations. So when stuff like this happens, when you get an opportunity or a potential opportunity, you want to be able to come to your marketing team and go, "Hey, this has just happened. I've just had this opportunity occur." So to give you an example, we've got a client of ours who has been asked to present at it's actually a conference that they've been asked to present at, 35 minutes. Amazing. Never thought it was going to come. She's not concerned about what she's going to say. What she's concerned about is, how do I maximize the 35 minutes, Andrea, that I've got on stage so that it complements and supports my brand, my credibility, but also helps with the lead generating process. That's come from out of the blue, right? She'd put in for it, maybe not, could have got it, wasn't too sure, gets the phone call, or hell breaks loose. What do I do? So this is what I mean by having a team of experts around you. So now that she's passed that over here to us, it's now our responsibility to talk to her team players and to go, "Right, guys, here's what we need to put in play. This is what we need to have as a follow-up, follow-through process. This is what we need to automate. These are the kind of hooks we need to have up front so that when people are there with her and she's talking her magic and being her magical self, people are actually able to hook in instantly." So once again, always make sure you're checking in. Now, for our clients, we either meet weekly or fortnightly, and that's a non-negotiable. We need to know what's going on in your life. We need to know what's happening to the decisions you're making in your business, because you want to know why your business will fail. The reason why it fails is because you've made a dumb decision. Oh, no. Yes. Okay. So what we've got to ensure is that when you do make those dumb decisions, and if you're like me, you've been doing this for 25 years, you make truckloads of them, right? That's how you learn. So it's really important that you do have that team of support around you. And something that I always say to my clients, and that is, I can't stop you from running into the brick wall at 100 miles an hour. Because if you tried to stop me, you would have failed dismally, right? So I can't stop you from running into the wall at 100 miles an hour. However, what I might be able to do is teach you how to bounce, okay? And that's why it's so important that you connect in with us. Okay, let's see how we went here. This is also exciting. Oh, Jeff! Oh, Chris is coming up behind you. Come on, Chris. You got this. All righty, lucky last question, folks. When should I bring in a marketing expert? Oh, here we go. Do, 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 do. 2, 1. Time's up. At every stage of my business life cycle. Yes, absolutely. We've all got competitors and they change constantly. But here's what else that happens. There's external factors beyond your control that are going to impact your business. They're either going to be an opportunity or they're going to be a threat. Now, I've got an import-export company in Southeast Asia based out of the Philippines. Our products are coming in from China. That's where they're being manufactured. We're selling them in the Philippines. What's really cool about that is that good old President Trump and his tariff debacle does not affect me. However, if I was exporting from Australia or New Zealand or the Philippines or China into the US, what do you think would have happened to my business? Down the gurgler. And the sad reality is we've actually had that happen with a client who her and her husband, they're in the business of jet skis. And one of the markets that they were entering into was America. And I said, do you sure you want to go there? This is before the election. I said, do you sure you want to go and invest your eggs in there? Just got to be careful that if Donald Trump gets in, there's going to be some upheaval here. Upheaval occurred. So the key here is to always be looking at every stage of your business life cycle before you look at moving into that next marketplace, or before you look at expanding your product range, or before you look at coming into going into a partnership, or before you look at mergers and acquisitions, or before you look at the possibility of structuring your business for sale. Have the conversation with your marketing team, because whatever you do is going to affect the way that your brand shows up. And as you know, if you've ever had to sell your business, a big portion of what you're selling is goodwill. Goodwill comes from having good brand. So once again, when you're looking at any changes, any considerations, please come and talk to your marketing team. Why? Because we're the ones that are looking at the decisions and how your decisions are going to impact your business, your brand, your credibility, your respectability in the marketplace. Okay, I think we know who the winner's going to be on this one. Jeff. Well done, Jeff. Yes. Okay. We'll figure out, actually, we've got a prize for you, Jeff. And so the prize is, although you are based in Germany and I'm here in Australia, but I'm sure we can make this work. The prize we've got for you is 2 hours deep dive into your business with me. Lord help you. Lord help you. I do come with a warning. All right. But yes, let's look at setting that. Maybe Chris can share our emails to each other and we can look at how we can make that work. But this is an opportunity here for us to deep dive into your business and to look at how we can maximize your growth utilizing marketing. So congratulations to you. Cool. Game over. So look, I guess the moral of the story here, and I'll stop sharing so I can bring you guys all in here. The moral of the story here is marketing is something that can be super fun for everybody. More importantly, it's got to be feasible, it's got to be viable, it has to be profitable, it also has to be sustainable. So what I'd like to do now, if it's possible, is open the floor, Chris. I'm sure we can get some questions out of these fine fellows that we're sharing the space with. And anything around marketing, business, thoughts, please load them up, light them up. Let's go.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you, Andrea. Such a great presentation and very interactive, very cool, I have to say. So yeah, guys, like Andrea said, if you've got any questions, please open your mic, type it in chat. And we've got Andrea, so we might as well just make use of her.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I have a question, Andrea.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks a lot for this presentation. The question is, do you have any strategies to test things rapidly? Because when you do research, you might find the ideas for a potential market, but how do you test it very fast, and how do you make sure that your testing is actually representative?
Whew. Yeah, okay. That's a mean question, Jeff. Thank you so much for that. Okay, first and foremost, you just said the magic thing here, and that is the market research component. You see, what the market research component allows us to do is to test and validate with your idea or concept of what you're thinking about for your business is actually going to work. So that's step number one. Where people fail, if I can say this, even when they do market research, is that the first piece of data they go to consider is what we call consumer behavior data or real-time data. So usually what happens, most people will go to Google and they'll go, what's Google telling me? So they'll go and speak to an SEO specialist. They may go speak to a digital advertising specialist who gives them their latest data. The challenge with that is that in most cases, that data has changed dramatically by the time that they're able to analyze, understand, and then bring it back to you. So the kind of data we use is what we call raw data. So here in Australia, it's the Australian Bureau of Statistics. So this is the best raw data. This is what politicians and policymakers all look at. This is what all the experts look at to determine the data sets, but also to look at trends. It's also where they look to industry forecast. So we always go to raw data first. So we go to the Bureau of Statistics. In New Zealand, it's the same. It's the Bureau of Statistics. The other place we also go to is if there's anything depending upon the industry. So, for example, when I did the business case for our company in the Philippines, so FYI, we're looking at bringing personal hygiene products for women to the marketplace. One of the things we had to go to was scientific data, so surveys or group testing that had been done in the past. Now, the reason why we had to go there is because we had to get an understanding as to what the severity of the problem was that we were looking to essentially provide a solution for. So where you get your data is really important. So we go there first, find raw data, accurate data. That highlights for us some of the challenges that even people in their own industry for years are unaware of. Then once we can find a bit of a potential pathway for you, then we go and look at the consumer behavior and real-time data to give some instant validation around, is that the right place to go? Now, that's only part one. Part two of that is then determining what are the right marketing vehicles that you should consider. What you do in your industry and in your business is going to be very different from what Mark does. So we have to understand, what have you got that's leverageable? If you've ever had a conversation with Karen, which I've had the privilege of having dinner with Karen in South Africa when I was there in March, she's got an incredible array of assets to her business that make her incredibly leverageable and marketable out there in her environment. So it's always understanding what those are as well, and then how do we maximize or utilize those from a marketing perspective. Could you do things like quantifiable surveys and qualitative surveys? Of course you could. But the only reason why you would do something like that is if the data that's been presented to you is unsure. Did that kind of give you an insight, Jeffrey? Cool, thank you. Yeah, I always encourage people, please don't go and invest in any kind of marketing until they've actually tested the market insofar as understanding if there really is a marketplace for you or not. One of the best success stories I've got is a security company based here in Brisbane, been around for 15 years, highly successful. They've got two main services to their business. One of them generates 60% of the business and operates at about a 60% capacity. The other part of the business, which takes the 40%, operates at 100% capacity. So there was some serious redlining going on in that service. They came to us with a concept, a business idea. They were willing to invest $750,000 Australian into it. And someone said, don't you think you should do the market research? So that's how they ended up in our back pocket. And we went, yeah, nah, don't do it. Cost them $15,000 for us to tell them not to do it. For me, it's a success story. We saved them from spending $750,000 on something that they would not have been able to recover from. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Don't be shy.
Looks
I
like
don't believe these
serious.
people are shy, Chris. I mean, what's with these people? Come on.
I think, Andrea, I wasn't asking questions because I'm kind of I'm working with Landy at the moment in doing my
Beautiful.
in kind of re 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 re
I hear you.
and re.
Re.
I think it's sometimes it's actually like you said, you've got to pose, you've got to look where you are and where you want to go, and more often than not, we're not doing that. We're so busy trashing into it and being very excited about it that we forget all the steps and talk
Totally.
on customer experience and all the customer touch points. So for me, you know, kind of listening to what you said today, it's just that reminder that those touch points, the before touch points in our own
Right.
businesses are just as important as everything else that you do. And if you don't do them, that they're the core of the business. And like you said, you could be losing a lot of money, really.
Well, something I always say is when people say to me, you know, when they talk about who's your ideal customer, your ideal target audience, and it's really amusing because I usually say my response to that is that's like asking me to go and corral sheep in a paddock with no fences and no border collie.
Mm.
Like, kind of, how's that working for us, right? And the challenge we've got out there in the marketplace right now is that there is no such thing as customer loyalty. It's very few and far between. Our customers are very fickle, and the reason why they're so fickle, and that is because their life is constantly changing, constantly shifting, right? One minute, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you know, I get people who say, yep, I'm ready to go, and then crickets, right? And you're like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? And that's because something has happened inside their life that you are no longer an important for them. Yet they could have been ideal. They could have been the perfect client for you, right? So the challenge in today's marketplace is that it's very volatile, incredibly so. And so what we've got to be looking at from a marketing perspective is really understanding how you want your brand to be perceived and received in the marketplace. You see, you're not in control as to who your ideal customer is. And if we look at COVID, right, COVID absolutely annihilated a lot of small businesses around the world. And the reason why those businesses got annihilated was because they did not have enough to be able to pivot. They had been taken down a particular way, and when that customer was gone, they were gone, right? So one of the things we always talk through with our clients, and that is, do you want to be in control or do you want to be out of control? I know, rhetorical question. You want to be in control. So why don't you get in control of how your brand shows up in the marketplace? How about we get some clarity on what you're all about? How about we get some certainty around what your philosophies, your principles are? And why don't we build consistency so that as people are building a relationship with you, right, it's built over time and there is a consistency to you, right? As we know, we buy with emotion and then we justify with logic, right? And we've got to remember that We are one of many potential solution providers for people. What we've got to work out is, have we built enough traction and credibility and respectability? Does our brand resonate with where they're at? Is there a sense of, oh my God, I think these people really know me? Because if there is, then you're more than likely going to win the game, right? So for us, we endeavour to move away from working, like trying to get an ideal, a customer avatar, because my customer avatar is going to be very different from the next marketing company. Rather, can we get a brand avatar? Can we actually work out what you're all about, Claire? Like, why would, and there's 4 questions I always ask people, and that is, who are you? What are you? Why you? And why should I buy you? Now, if you tell me, oh, I've got really good customer service, right? I'm going to, yeah, right, Mark's like, that's me. Okay. I'm going to go, yeah, nah, that's not going to cut it, right? Because I'm not wanting to know about you externally. I'm wanting to know about you. So when I say, who are you? What are you? Why should I trust you? I'm not looking for your list of services, right? I'm not looking for the menu of solutions. I'm looking to figure you out. I want to know, are you a fly-by-nighter? Are you someone who's going to be here today, gone tomorrow? Are you just going to take my money and run? Are you someone who actually genuinely gives a damn about my business, or are you just pigeon talking it? So it's real important that when we're going through this process, and I love the process we go through with Mike and Landy and Diane. Diane and I have had a few really healthy conversations, as you can imagine. But it's been great because it's brought it back to what it should be, and that is, who am I, what am I, why me, and why should you buy me?
Yeah, something I talk about with client in terms of employee and customer experience. It's about emotional intentions, and actually,
Huge.
how do you want your customers to feel, or the people to
Yep.
feel? If you just find 3 feelings and that's all you focus on, that's all you will get, and that's it.
Beautiful.
Then you'll attract those right customers which are going to want to feel that way. And so it's not an easy task to do, to actually find those 3 feelings, but once you've done that exercise, it's beautiful, because then all your marketing can really feel flow around it.
Yeah. And we do the same thing. For us, it's, what's that physiological impact that you want the person to feel post delivery of your solution, right? Now, for most of us, most of our clients, they're either looking for joy, in fact, they're looking for joy. In most cases, when they come to us, they're not in a joy space. When most people come to us, they're in pain. They're hurting. Some of it's self-inflicted, right? So when they're coming to us, they're looking to want to remove that. It's like we're a doctor, and they come in, they knock on the door and they ask for the magic pill, and we go, there aren't any, I've already taken them all today, right? So essentially that's how we are. But it's how we bring that through. It's how we portray that, right? And look, I know for a lot of people, my approach is very direct, to the point, up front. It's the reason why I come with a warning, and my staff normally don't let me out that much, because I usually scare a lot of people. But that's okay, because for me, if I have to mollycoddle you along the way, I'm so not your solution provider. That's probably going to be one of the team. They're much nicer than I am. But if you want to, like, Andrea, just hit me with it, like, tell me it's shit. And I'll go, mate, if your baby was any uglier, looks just like you. So, you know what I mean? So it's all going to come down to how you want them to feel. And I want people to feel, when they're working with me, like I get them. I get them where they're at, and God damn it, we're going to get to the finish line together. Even if I had to drag you kicking and screaming, I ain't carrying you, but I'm dragging you. So that's my personality. That's not everybody's personality, by the way. But I want them to go, oh my God, yeah, look, she was amazing, but boy, she comes with a warning. So yeah, real important. Awesome.
Right. Andrew, I think we just heard one of your new customers in the background.
Yes.
Dragging them.
Yeah, that's our head of security. He's just letting them know he's watching them.
Oh, no, awesome. Great
Awesome.
questions and great session. So is there anyone else who'd like to drop a question?
Mark's just put a message in which is really important, and that is authentic seems to smooth out the volatility in the marketplace. 1,000% agree. And what I'm finding really fascinating now working across international borders, and that is transparency. So important. Because when you start to deal with cross-culture and international borders and trying to get everybody onto or attempting to get everyone onto the same page, transparency becomes really important. And one thing I'm really starting to see come back, starting to creep back into the way we do business, and that is respect. And that's where that authenticity comes from, is a genuine desire to want to be respectful in every way possible. Now, for most of us on this call who are, barely just 25, yeah, it's wonderful to see it, right? And it's wonderful to experience it as well, because respect has gone away for a long time. Authenticity has been talked about to death, but really hasn't been in action. And I'm kind of seeing that people of our age group, kind of mid-40s and above, we're kind of bringing that back in. It's like we're demanding it and we're encouraging it. So definitely respect for me it's a non-negotiable. So how do I ensure that I'm being respectful? And that is ensuring that my brand is consistent in the way it shows up. So the last thing I want is for people to come and go, oh my God, I didn't know you were going to be like that. And I'm going to go, really? Have you not seen my videos? Did you not read the warning, right? So it's about ensuring that we are being our true, authentic self. And in doing so, we're respecting ourselves. We're respecting our businesses. We're respecting, finally, then as the end user of that, because we're giving them the experience up front. So that's a big one for me at the moment.
Yeah, I think, Andrea, that somebody have had after one of my keynotes, I've had somebody who's came up to me and say, I think you're a bit too much, Claire. I think you should actually just turn it down a little. And that really bugged me, really, really bugged me for quite a few weeks. I had to think about that one because is it,
Yeah.
you know
There
what?
is nothing wrong in that. Because you know what? There would have been 10 or 20 people who would have been sitting in that room who would have gone, oh my beep, 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 God, that is exactly the kind of message we should have got, right? It's just that they didn't come up and give you the feedback. They didn't edify you for who you are, right? And this is where we've got to be aware of our own internal power, right? And how it comes through. And for some people, yeah, they don't like it. Oh, well, thank you for sharing. Next. Right? And that's why it's so important for us to remain in this state, to remain in this consciousness around being present and being respectful to ourselves in that. Because business in today's environment, this was another conversation I've been having across the world. You know what? Business in today's environment is bloody hard. This is the hardest. I've survived 2 GFCs and recessions and depressions, and I survived COVID, and this is like, So this is where we've got to dig in to what's important to us, right? at the helm of these businesses, it's what's important to us. And then by doing that, by being real to ourselves, authentic to ourselves, respecting these things we call a business, our vehicle, in turn, people go, yeah, I like that, Claire, check, keep her on.
Awesome, guys. I think that's going to be it. Andrea, is there anything else you'd like to add on? All good? Okie dokie. My PC just freeze.
Chris, I'd love to make the
I'm
same
back.
available to everybody. Oh, he's back.
There I am.
He's back. There I am. So if you could just share my email address with everyone, I'd love
Got it.
the opportunity to share. And Jeff, you and I, man, we're gonna go toe to toe, bro.
Awesome. No, great. Thank you, Andrea, for being here, and all the live listeners and offline listeners. We really appreciate and really hope the insight and information that you got is actionable and valuable. I think it's gold nuggets. Thank you, Andrea. Really appreciate it.
privilege.
And then, guys, we wish you a great week ahead, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Andrea.
Much love.
Love you.
Love
Thank
you, babe.
you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.